Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a nice evening. Rory Powers, Right Line Trading. Let's do the disclaimer very quickly. This broadcast is for educational and demonstration purposes only. I am not a licensed financial advisor. If you're not familiar with the risks associated with trading, please consult with a licensed financial advisor. We're in short right now. We've got everything in Sim. If this is your first day joining us, I'm going to be showcasing the AI Auto Trader. And the AI Auto Trader, once the strategies are enabled, will execute and manage the trades for you on NinjaTrader 8. We're going to be trading all of the index equities, the NASDAQ. These are all futures instruments. NASDAQ, Russell, Dow, E-mini, along with crude oil and gold. And pre-market here, the market's going to open in about 4 minutes. We're in a short position in one of our most exciting strategies. We call it the haymaker. Hope everyone had a nice evening. I started to hit the play button a little early just so we're prepared. And yesterday, the Russell, looking at our results from yesterday, the Russell up big. Signal A, Russell. Dow, Signal B, 2-minute retirement plans always in the mix. The YM. And if you could see my screen, if you could hear my voice, let me know you're alive this morning. If you're joining me, that's the good news. Hallelujah. We got I was checking the, hey, good morning, Scott. I'm glad that you just commented because I think I took care of what we discussed yesterday, but if not, I'm going to as soon as I'm done. I got you written down. I think I did it yesterday, though. Today I was looking at the calendar, the Forex Factory, and man, we've got a full day of FOMC talk. Historically, when FOMC, when the Feds are talking about economic conditions and the potential for future rate cuts, the market kind of goes sideways on us. But who knows? Maybe they'll say something. Maybe they'll whisper in the market's ear and give us a good trading opportunity. Our haymaker is headed down south, driving the price of the NASDAQ lower. Our LIQUIDITY is locked. Now that our LIQUIDITY is locked, the signal B is the entry that this took. Hey, good morning, Rao. I saw gold had a beautiful trade this morning. Gold was popping up to the upside. There goes the market open. And it retraced right back to the 15. We're going to take a quick look at the Forex Factory at the calendar. See what the NASDAQ did overnight. Big move down. Big move down early this morning. So, very common question I get is how do you decide which ones to trade in your funded account? And it's kind of a two-part answer. One is we look at the data. We begin running the strategies about an hour and a half before the market opens. And the cream of the crop always comes to the top. And those are the strategies that you see here. These are the strategies that pre-market like these current market conditions. So those would come. Those would definitely come up under our radar. And then the second thing is, we always look at the what have you done for me lately? And we look back over the last several days. We know historically, if we've been running the system, and you're a member of our trading community, we post the results daily over the months. It seems to be repetitive on which strategies do well. And that also weighs into the decision making, is not only a longer look historically, but these strategies get very streaky, and certain market conditions some do better than others. So I'm going to kind of try to talk my way through my decision making process. We just released the one-day pass strategies. As you know, Apex has a 90% sale. And I did a little breakdown just so you could see what this 90% sale is. The 90% sale, they call it the crazy or the insane sale on the $250,000 account. First, let me just preface that by saying every single one of their evaluations is discounted by 90%. The $250,000 account has a little bit of an extra incentive where their price is the same as a $50,000. So $16 right now with the 90% off. The $150,000 account, I think right now you'd be crazy to go with that one. You might as well go for the $250,000. $100,000 account is more than the $250,000 now. The $50,000 account is $16. And they do recur at 80% off. So it's just 90% for the first month. I'm going to put in a coupon code that would really help support us here at Right Line Trading. We are affiliates with Apex. And I'd like to put our coupon code in the chat box. Let me put it on my notepad first. Maybe let's try it. Yeah, I think it's fine. So that's our Apex coupon code. And the sale is through this, I believe it's through Thursday. Sale is through Thursday. But what I was getting at before I lose my train of thought is we came out with the new one-day pass strategies. So right now for $16, if you have a $250,000 account, or what I'm going to trade today is a $50,000 account. For $16, we could take a one trade, one-day pass. Which is an aggressive strategy. It trades 10 contracts. We look for 60 ticks on the NASDAQ. And the primary goal, of course, is to pass the evaluation and get the PA account. So we're just trying to see the direction that the market takes. You can see the E-mini. The E-mini is called our cash register. And David Wise, who's our professional options trader, helped us design this strategy template. And this pink dotted line that you see is the VWAP. Normally, we wouldn't take a long trade below the VWAP. This particular strategy saw the shift in momentum. Our RSI line in our Laguerre oscillator broke that 20% line, so it went long. So there's a little more risk associated with that long entry with price being below the VWAP. So what we would be looking for right now that would conform to his trading methodology would be a short entry. But with this market, who knows? You never know. So I went ahead and got 2 or 3 Apex accounts, and we're going to try the one-day pass. And statistically, it breaks down to about, I think it should be about every 1 and 2.5 to 3 trades will get a pass. And what we can do to increase our odds just a little bit is what I was looking at this morning is kind of looking at the time that we would have the best chance. For our NQ 2-minute, I'm breaking down the results by the half hour of the day. And I've gone back from April 30th, about 3 weeks, to May 18th. Let's take it right to the 21st. And if we go to our 2-minute signal A, you can see that I get this real big green bar at 10:30. And that's my entry time. So at 10:30, either at 9:30, between 9:30 and 10, or 10:30 to 11, and then it increases. And then we get nice green bars here from 11:30 to 12:30. So on the NQ 2-minute, I think our best chance is to take an entry between 10:30 and 11. So I'm going to set up a one-day pass on the NQ 2-minute, and we'll set it to start at 10:30. Just going with the statistics. And this could be a nice short roll here. But listen, I started off by saying that the Feds are going to be talking all day today. I'm going to show the Forex Factory calendar here in just a minute. Let's see. Let's pull up the Forex Factory. Right now, Raw Gold is on top of our leaderboard. Tuesday, May 21st. FOMC, Waller, and Barkin, and Williams, they all spoke this morning. And then at 11:45, Barr speaks. Waller said that the probability of a recession seems to have disappeared. Bostic said they would not expect a rate cut before the fourth quarter. So kind of mixed talking points. They're in no hurry. I think they're going to wait right for the election. They're in no hurry. But they did go on to say that the chances of a recession have diminished. So a little good news, little bad news. They kept it lukewarm. So if I want to set up my 1 day to pass, what I would do is I'm going to go to my retirement plan strategy. So on my NinjaTrader Control Center, I click the Strategies tab. And I'm going to right-click and select New Strategy. And then under my available list, I'm going to select the AI Auto Trader. And all of these templates come pre-formatted. I'll come down to my templates, load, and I'm going to find my NQ 2-minute 50,000 evaluation. This is the 1 day pass. And I'm going to load it up. And I'm going to change my time, because remember, we just saw that at 10:30, we have a really nice chance of getting a juicy trade. And we're going to go right to 11 a.m. And my profit limit's at 3,050. I need 3,000 to pass the evaluation. And my drawdown can be 2,500. And I'm going to trade 10 contracts and look for 62 ticks. That should put me right over if I get a full winner. And right here, I'm going to change it off of my SIM account. And I'm going to put it into one of these fresh Apex accounts that I picked up this morning. Apex 14. And now I can just enable that strategy by checking the box at the far right. So we've got that one set to go at 10:30. And let's take a quick look at gold. Nice move down, it looks like. That signal B, the gold signal B, would trigger right now because you see that cross. And the software really gives you beautiful entry signals. The cross is telling us that all of our conditions are met for a short entry here. Our Laguerre is locked to the bottom. They're picking up a disparity between uptick and downtick, the majority being downtick. LaDonna, I went too fast? I'm sorry. Let's go back. So what I did was I went to my Strategies tab of my Control Center. And in my Strategies tab, I right-clicked and I selected New Strategy. Under the Available list, these are the available list of my strategies, I'm going to select the AI Auto Trader P. Once I've selected that strategy, I'm going to come down to the far right corner and hit Template. And then I'm going to select Load. And I'm going to look for the template that I want to load. In this case, it was the 50,000 eval. The 50,000, the NQ 2-minute 1 day pass. And once I've loaded it, I would just scroll down to where my account is. I would make sure it's on the NASDAQ. Be very careful there. NinjaTrader has a bit of a glitch or sometimes it'll switch to the instrument in your data series. So I am on the NASDAQ, and now I would just simply change it off of my SIM account and put it into my Apex account. And then I would click OK. Once I click OK, it's going to show up here, and I would just check off the little box to enable it. So it looks like the market here is trying to find a direction here. It looks like it's, rolling to the downside, trying to break through this area of support. Where is NASDAQ? When I go to New Strategy, I would look in the data series. And all you'll do when you scroll down to the data series, after you've loaded the template, you're going to go into the data series instrument. Right here, if you just type NQ, it'll come up in this little drop down. And I'm going to double click the NQ future. And then it automatically pops in. Select NASDAQ, just like that, LaDonna. So under data series, I'm just going to type in NQ and double click the NQ future E-mini. That's where it is. A short roll on the NQ 2 minute. Looks like a juicy entry. And here's our Russell from yesterday. Our Russell from yesterday is hot again today, it appears. It's all over our leaderboard. Great trade, Rao. Rao made 1,800. I wore my green shirt today, so I'm hoping it rubs off. Great job, Rao. Rao took gold and crude oil. We're just going to sit on our hands here for now. The new entry, which is going to be coming out shortly, I call it prime time. This is the new prime time. This would be the new prime time entry. A retracement and continuation down, very tight to the 50. So the good thing about this signal C, signal C is going to be the entry in the strategy parameters. What it is, it's a confluence entry. And what's nice about it is you never will take an overbought or oversold trade again with this entry. You don't even need an MA diff because it's by design. It's designed to get you in tight to the 50. So this would basically be the entry, the pullback to the 50 or the 15, and the continuation down. And it needs a couple of confirmation candles once it rolls. It's not just going to jump in on the first roll. It needs a couple of confirmation candles, and the winning percentage has been really, really nice. This would be the entry. If two more candles after this one go to the downside, it would pop you in short. Let's take a look at the haymaker. Let's see when our hot time is on the haymaker. Maybe we could try the one-day pass on that one as well. Let's go back. Our signal A's. Our signal A's very close to the same time, a half hour before. 10 o'clock. From 10 to 10:30 on the signal A's. Let's see what the signal B's look like. Signal B's a little earlier. Right now we're in the signal B window. So our NQ30 range signal B, our entry times do vary. The peak entry time are going to be these three green bars here. This is going back to the 30th of April. So that's the signal B. I'd really love to see the market find a direction one way or the other. I see our 50 is going from red to yellow to green. These are our open positions. I tried it once, Rao, and I kind of muffed it up. I made a mistake with the. You have to be careful that you use the template as it shows in our Discord chat, because normally in the strategy parameters we have a loss limit of 1,000, but with this one-day pass strategy you have to increase that. So to answer your question, I tried it but forgot to increase my daily loss limit, so it closed me out of the trade early. So today will be the first day I think that I'll have the settings right to give it a try. I don't see anything juicy yet, so I'm kind of sitting on my hands here. This is the breakdown of black gold. Black gold does best pre-market. That's crude oil. Black gold, crude oil. This is a breakdown of the half hour of the day, the performance between April 30th and May 21st. Right about now, things kind of go flat. I made a really conservative strategy on crude oil. I have it trading in this copper. Here goes, this is a potential for the signal B on the NASDAQ 30. The volume is decent. We're right around 2,000 contracts per minute. Much better than yesterday. Just still don't see any follow through one way or the other. Let me tell you, the Russell looks very volatile. That signal A on the Russell looks juicy. Let's take a closer look at this one. This is the one that was hot yesterday. Huge move down, nice move up. Small retracement. Another beautiful long entry right here. Let's see what the signal A did on the Russell. Signal A is in this trade. Could be a repeat of yesterday. These strategies can be very they get on streaks, hot streaks. What I was looking for, streaky. That's why I like to look at the what have you done for me lately. The Russell signal A is the cash cow. Nasdaq's just chopping all over the place. And the E-mini's trading right into the VWAP. Let's see if the E-mini can break through the VWAP. Gold just triggered. Hey, good morning, Dr. Hanson. This would have definitely been an entry on that new strategy. On the new entry, the signal C, prime time, pulls back and continuation up. That's exactly what it enters at, but it needs a couple of candles of confirmation. We're just playing on that delay right now. See how many candles of a delay we want. The signal B is itching to get in. Now look, now the E-mini broke right through the VWAP. So if I wanted to take a shot at this one, I can build a new strategy. If I right-click on my chart and select New Strategy, I'm going to select the AI Auto Trader P. I'm going to load this on my Apex account. I'm going to try the NQ30 signal B. So I'm going to load my template. I'm going to find the NQ30 signal B. I'm going to load it. And then I'm going to come down to my account. I'm going to make sure I'm on the NASDAQ, which I am, and then I'm going to put it on number 13. That's the one I've been working on for God knows how long, for a few weeks now. And I'll click OK, and then I'm going to enable it by checking off that box. So now I'm in this trade. If this Laguerre locks to the long side and this NASDAQ takes off to the upside, I'm going to be in that trade long. I like how my 15 is above my 50. My 50 is green and sloping up. I saw my E-mini broke through my VWAP. So I'm hoping, and this is, in trading, nothing's guaranteed. I'm just trying to reduce my risk as much as possible. The reason I do that, Leonard, is because I want the all of the strategies come out of the box with their own separate SIM account. And I want to continue to get data on those accounts throughout the whole session. Those two work in tandem, and they share a database, and I don't want to interfere with that because I want to historically be able to go on my trade performance, and I want to be able to filter each one of those. If I change one of my SIM accounts to my Apex account, when I go back on my historical data, it's not going to be accurate because some of that data is going to be on my Apex. So I always duplicate my strategies when I switch them to my live account. I'll continue to let them run in SIM. and I'll have a duplicate strategy for my live trading. So I also have my 1-day pass enabled on my 2-minute. That's up here. Now our signal A on the 30 range may have just taken that short. Let's take a quick look. No. It didn't. But I'm really limited right now to just getting into a long position because my Ligure is kind of, I'm above the 50. Price is above the 50. The 15 is over the 50. Ideally, that would be a market structure set up for a long trade. My 15 is this dotted line right here, and the solid line is my 50. Both green, both sloped up. The problem is we're just not getting much movement. We're just chopping around pretty good. That E-mini entry that went in way below the VWAP, well, it's making out pretty well now. Now that it's through the VWAP, it's slowly working its way up to the profit target. Yes, Leonard. The two of them work, Leonard. The two of them work in tandem, the bot and the drone. So if your drone's not enabled, your bot's not going to take a trade. So make sure that they're both always enabled, the bot and the drone. The bot is going to do what the drone tells it to do. It's going to put its stop and its profit targets where the drone tells it to. Where it's calculated, it has the best opportunity of getting a profitable trade. So I don't want to interfere in that process at all. And then historically, I want to be able to go back and see exactly what each strategy did and when it did it. Yes. Yeah, to answer your question, Michael, there is an improvement. A recent update, the model was, at first, we were looking too far back. We were, having it look, with this fast-moving market that can change on a news report or even a tweet, we have to have a much shorter model. I think now it's looking at 5 or 10 trades instead of 50 trades. So it's going to react much faster. And ever since we changed it, I have seen an improvement, Michael. Russell continues. That signal A Russell, it has me thinking. Is this going to be a repeat of yesterday? When I saw all those announcements by the feds, I got a little nervous with trading today. But let's stay optimistic and just sit on our hands here. the NASDAQ looks near impossible to get an entry. And if you did, you'd get chopped to pieces. Now, if 1030 rolls around, we could catch a short roll when this RSI line breaks through that Laguerre oscillator through the 80% line. We could catch a big roll to the downside, hopefully. We'll see. About 1030 is when that strategy normally catches on fire. Starting to come down now. It's a little before 10:30. But our retirement plan strategy should take that entry to the downside on the 2-minute. If it continues down, it's going to pop into that trade. I think I just heard it. Let's see the retirement plan. There we go. This was the trade I was hoping for 10:30. So the 1-day pass needs 60 ticks. So if you see my P&L get to 362 ticks. So if it gets to 310, that would have been a pass. If it comes back and hits my stop, that's a fail. Okay, so luckily we set it for 10:30. So the Apex account. Well, now this one came in. This is our haymaker. The haymaker always trades tough. Let me tell you. Let's go back to Apex on this. I think it was 14. I put it on. Let's take a look at this trade. Now, any named strategy, if you are running the system, if a strategy is named Haymaker, Cash Cow, Cash Register, Dow Diamond, those do not have the AI technology. Those are regular bots that don't adjust. The bots and drones for the NQ30 range, those do have the AI technology. This looks a lot like yesterday with just very little follow-through. I do have the 30 range signal B. Okay, this is the signal A. Which we'll get into these moves earlier. This is a very similar entry to what the signal C entry would have taken. With the pull back to the 50 and continuation up. Just so happened the oscillator broke up through for the signal A. It's a shame because it's a really nice entry long. Everything is lined up very nicely for a long entry here. We just need a little bit of follow through. Yeah, you're right, Rao. In these market conditions, I think you hit the nail on the head. So it'll be interesting to see if my P&L makes it to 310. What Rao is suggesting is increasing our number of contracts and reducing our targets. One of the reasons we've been having success with the system is our risk to reward ratio. If you don't have a high percentage of winners, a one-to-one risk to reward will always get you in trouble. We want our winners to be larger than our losers. But listen, we got to take what they'll give us. Okay, so no follow through on that trade. Let's see if we can find that crude oil trade. Gold's up over $2,400 an ounce right now. I think that's very close to the all-time high. So gold is very close to the all-time high. Precious metals, always a kind of a safe haven. Looking at the weather outside here, I'm located right down by the Florida Keys. It's a good day to go fishing. Looks like the dog days of summer may have come early for us. Pre-market, we had the big move down, and market's slowly filling that gap to the upside. I might get into this position on my Apex. Yeah, I'm in it now. So I got into this position on the signal B. A while back, I enabled my signal B. And this is the account that I've kind of been trading for 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's right around plus 2,000, I believe. Last week I had my unrealized P&L. It made it to $2,996. And then I went on to lose 500. So I think I'm between 2,000 and 2,500 on the account. And just trying to pass the evaluation in a very conservative way. Little chips at a time. But this one was actually at $2,996. It went that high in unrealized profits. Well, this is the way the market's been drifting since the bell. It's kind of been filling in the gap from that big move down pre-market. I'm tempted if it goes up a couple hundred just to take the 200 and not be greedy today. It's been rough. And we're coming very close to 10:30. 10:30 is when we're going to go for the one-day pass on the 2-minute NASDAQ. That seems to be time-wise the sweet spot. The NASDAQ is trading like the E-mini today. Need a good stiff breeze here to push up this price. We might have to give this a little more room. All right, come on. Interesting, Leonard. Very interesting. Yeah, so right now it's just hit 10:30, it looks like. And on my 2-minute, the 1-day pass, it's right now it's going to look for a short roll. I really kind of want to take what I can get today. So I'm going to kind of squeeze this thing up a little tight. Tempted to close the trade, but my gears lock long. The technicals are lined up still for a continuation to the upside. Yesterday I watched Mark Miller is the owner of Right Line Trading. He did the YouTube live stream yesterday, and he put one on for 10 contracts on the NQ30, this same instrument, same data series, and he got the 60. I think he got the 62 ticks. that I saw, and it was a $10,000 trade. He had a trade copier on 5 different accounts. And was able to make really nice money on a not a huge move. There we go. Come on. I'm at 280. It was at one as high as 280 I saw. And we have what's called a profit window. Profit window is once it gets there, it would have hit our one-day pass. The profit window is once it gets within 10 ticks of our profit target, my stop will move 10 ticks under price. So you have an equal risk to reward at that point, where you're not going to give back a huge amount of your profits if you miss your profit target by 10 ticks or less. And I'm over here hoping that I get within that profit window. That's why I'm talking about it. Once you get in that profit window, you could take a deep breath. I look to make about $500 a day on my prop account, and if I can get it to 500, I'll be a happy camper today. Hey, good morning, Steve. Good to see you, my friend. There you go. Right at 500. I'm going to squeeze this trade. Wow. Really went our way, didn't it? Can't seem to move it again. I think there's a limit to how many times you can move it. It turned out to be a beautiful trade for us. Okay, I think it just looks like it just went into our profit window. Perhaps. No, it looks a little soon to do that. Come on. Don't die on me now. We've come this far. Yes, sir. Rouse, you're funny. Wow, you're getting inside my head. You got inside Mark's head, and it really paid off. My conservative ways. I have this fear of the trade copier. I see Mark using it, and it looks like Greek to me because I'm really familiar with the right line trading tools. But when it comes to tools outside of right line trading, I'm a little intimidated. So let me disable that strategy. Since I hit my profit call, that was the signal B, and I always like to look. We're still waiting for the short roll on the 2-minute, so we still got that activated. But I always like to look at the conditions of a winning trade. And you see what the conditions were. It took the entry, my 50's green, my 15's above the 50, and also sloping green. So in my conditions of my strategy, if I only wanted to take those entries, those are conditions that I can limit my entries to. Only take the trades when the 15 signal, the 50 signal. It's all in those module 1 and 2 of the workshop that we have in the members area. These are conditions that you can enable, so it only takes them. And I have a strategy template that's set up only to take long trades with market structure set up just like that. The 15 has crossed the 50. They're both green on a long trade or both red on a short trade. And those are really nice entries. A lot of the risk is reduced when we have those type of entries with both the 15 and the 50 in agreement, same color. And there's a little more risk associated with a trade when you're going long and your 50 is red. Now, had I not squeezed the trade, and I always say this, but I'm happy with the 520. But if you run it fully automated and you don't squeeze it, you could always see what would have happened. I call it the coulda, shoulda, woulda trade, and it's probably on my signal B right now. Look at that ES trade. Look how that ES trade matured. Now this is the perfect time for when. Right now, my stop is in right field, all right, and I have the potential of losing $462. So what I do in this situation is I right-click my stop, and when this little flag comes up, I select Attach it to an indicator, and then Properties. And then what I'm going to do is attach it to my Modified Fast indicator. Signal up, signal down. And I'm going to find my Modified Fast and click OK. Now it's my stop is on my 15, on my Modified Fast, which still looks like it's pretty far down there. But it's a lot better than where it was. Really, my hope is to get into that profit window where it forms a bracket with an equal distance from my stop to my profit target. Or there's nothing stopping you at all from taking your stop and moving it up. But again, Leonard, with the sim accounts, what I normally do is I don't touch them. If there's a nice profit, I will on occasion, if I'm right in front of it, attach it to the 15. So I have a momentum-based trailing stop is really what it what that does to it. It's a momentum-based trailing stop when I pin my stop to my modified fast indicator. And the way I would pin my stop to the modified fast indicator is I right-clicked on the stop itself, and I selected Attach to Indicator, and then I selected my modified fast indicator. So this turned out to be a really nice trade. Price reversed after the big move down pre-market. The market doesn't like those gaps, and it's retraced back and filled in that gap. And where it's going to go from here, God only knows. Now listen, this could be my one-day pass on this 14 right here. Boom, it's in. So here's our one-day pass that we were waiting on. And we got the short roll on an oversold market. And I could bring my stop down, but I'm just going to let it ride here. So this is a shot at our one-day pass on our NASDAQ 2-minute. And it is a counter trend trade, but we bounced right off of that big area of resistance. And hopefully it doesn't come back and retest it. So this was a brand new $50,000 account. And we're right in our window. We're right at 1040, about 1045. So between 1030 and 11, I found historically that this was my time frame, the window of opportunity. Historically, I've been getting the best performance between 1030 and 11. Gotcha, Rao. Yeah, a lot of people now are taking advantage of the 90% off. Come on down a little bit. Love to take the risk off of this trade and get a free shot at it without squeezing it. I thought we were headed south for a minute. So this is, Rao, this is what you were talking about. Increase the lot size and bring in that target. So we're going for a one-day pass, a one-day trade. One trade, one day, one pass. Kind of bouncing off the 15 here. There we go, breakthrough. We break through that 15, we got a shot. Those moving averages really become support and resistance. Getting some heat now. Come on down. That's a good question, Robert. The AI bots, the settings are optimizable. We do that for you. We also provide you with modules, training modules, that give you the ability, all the information you'll need to optimize them if you would like yourself. However, that's not required. We have a really great team that is always optimizing the inputs of these strategies. On a weekly basis, every Friday, we post in the Discord chat, which is our community of traders, our venue that we all communicate with one another. And not only do we highlight the top 5 strategies for that week, we also put any changes that we've made to optimize the inputs of the strategies. So that's something that we also put on a master spreadsheet. We put it in a zip file that you can either import and reload on your NinjaTrader, or you can manually adjust the inputs. But that's something that we do ongoing. We want this to be a win-win relationship. It's not a one-sided deal. Our number one goal is for you to be profitable. That's the goal. Most people use the strategies right out of the box. We do have a small percentage of people that like to get under the hood and play around with it. And the parameters of the strategies are all adjustable. So any style of trading that you like, scalping, swing trading, any instrument you want to trade, any time frame, as conservative or aggressive you want these strategies to be, you can certainly fiddle around with the inputs and make it just how you like it. So I'm going to put a link in for more information on how to build your own automated strategy. Hopefully here we're building a top that's going to come on down. Consolidating here, right here at this price point. Right on my 15 EMA is the barrier. It's retested it now 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And the bears are trying to push price down. You can see my Laguerre oscillator is straight down right now. But we are in a counter trend trade. You can see my 15 and 50 are both green and pointed up, and we're in a short position. So obviously there's a little more risk associated with this kind of entry. And basically what we're trying to do here is call the top, which is really hard to do. But we only need 60 ticks for this strategy to hit its target. With that nice move up, 60 ticks, you'd think wouldn't be that hard to get on the NASDAQ. But if we could just break through that 15. Hey, Nightbot, there you are. I was wondering where you were today. Let me see if I can find my link to put in the chat. Yeah, so Robert, to answer your question, it's both A and B. The settings are optimizable on your end. Yes. Do they get updated and adjusted? Yes. Here we go. Here we go. Come on now. Break through there. Come on through. Break on through. This is our one-day pass for a $50,000 evaluation. You're welcome. Giving us heat again. Not an easy one, is it? Not an easy one. See now, one of the conditions that I could have checked was this signal A, the 50 signal A, red-green. And I would have not taken this short entry, but popped into a long entry here. But it's right into resistance, so it's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. You either take a trade that's a counter trend trade or one straight into resistance. Maybe we get back into this. Who knows? Hey, Scott, good morning. Yes, we do. We do. I was just speaking to Olu and Daniel yesterday. Both of them, they just don't like the prop accounts. They don't like the rules that the prop firms put on them. So they prefer to just trade a small account, one E-mini, with a $2,000 or $3,000 startup. They pick their favorite strategy and they just trade that one, and they're doing very well with it. They also take trades on a discretionary basis. So we kind of have a mixed bag. We have okay. It looks like I got stopped out. Because of my I was up on the trade. So my unrealized threshold trailed. So I can only come back 1,930. So we took our best shot at the one-day pass. We missed it on that one. We missed it on that one. It was trying to take another trade just now, long. See what I'm talking about with the. Let's go to that strategy real quick. The one on 14. And if I open up the parameters of that strategy, what I'm talking about with the conditions. Had I not wanted to take a counter trend trade, and I don't want to go into too much minutia right now, but if I've determined that, hey, I don't want to take counter trend trades, when I only want to take a trade in the direction of the trend. So on that signal A, what I can do to make that happen is I can enable my 50 signal. And if my 50 signal, if I put it on red and green, now one of the conditions that have to be met before the system will fire a trade is on a long trade, my 50 has to be green. On a short trade, my 50 has to be red. Okay, so it would have prevented that entry. Now I could take it a step further, and I could say, well, you know what? I also want my 15 signal. I want my 15 to be red or green. So I want my market structure to have both of my moving averages in the same direction as my entry. And then to take it even a step further, to go even more conservative, I could say, well, I want my 50 and my 15 to be above and below one another. Okay, so on a long trade, my 15 would be above, and on a short trade, my 15 would be below the 50. So now, the only way it would have taken a trade was on a trade like this, where you see the cross. On that signal A entry, it would have taken this trade because my 50 is green, this line here. The solid green line. The 15, the dotted line, is green. Now my 15 is above my 50, and they're both pointed green. So those conditions that I just showed you would have been met. And now, instead of trying to call the top of the trade and taking a counter trend, I would have taken this trade, but it would have went right into resistance. So now in the parameters, I also have a condition that I can't trade straight into a pivot. So here I need a clear pivot signal, and I have it set for 60. So I probably would have wanted to make it for this strategy 63 ticks, because that was that one day pass strategy. So we really would like a clear shot to our profit target. So if I enable my clear volume zones, which is also another area of support or resistance, Those are the solid red lines that you see on my chart. And I want clear pivot signal. Those are the dotted red lines that you see here. And I want a clear path for my first target, which is at 62 ticks. I usually add a tick just to play it safe. So I put 63 here. So now if I've enabled my 15 signal on red and green, and I've put my 50 signal on red and green, and I want my 50 above or below and my 15. Now, market structure-wise, everything has to be where our software defines risk at its lowest in order for this trigger to be taken. And then, most importantly, is I have a clear shot to my profit target, which is going to be 62, and I've added one to make it 63. And there's a few other conditions that I could put in. If I don't want to trade into my VWAP or the session high or low, I can enable those as well to make it even more conservative. So, Robert, that kind of goes into your question about are the settings optimizable or adjustable on your end? And the answer here I just showed you is absolutely yes. With the NASDAQ, what we found is that it very easily breaks right through these areas of support and resistance when there's good volume. When institutional money is really flying and really dumping money in or pulling money out, it'll blow through those areas. So we try not to harness it too much. But listen, we can be super conservative with these strategies. So today, slow and steady won the race. We had that Apex 13, and I'll show a performance of it. It's a lot of time. You know, I think I've been trading this for, we could check in just a second. I'm back up to it was down to about 1,500. So now it's back at 2,000. And this goes back to, if I go to my trades, to since May 7th. So 2 weeks. 2 weeks trading one contract. My max drawdown was 700. So that's with just picking the strategy that I feel is the best for the current day and trading one contract. My copper on crude has been doing really well. The copper one, I put into play a lot of those conditions that I just described, where the 15 and 50 have to be green for a long trade. I put some extra conditions on it, so it's a little more conservative. You can see the entries that it took today. Very tight to the 50, this long entry here. Another long entry here with the green 50, green 15 here. So it's taken some really nice entries today. Great question, Radar. Let me show you that. What those green, and I'm glad you mentioned that. In Module 2 of the masterclass that I'm going to put into the chat box, if you right-click your chart and you go to Indicators, and Module 2 goes into depth on this indicator. The indicator that we're talking about that throws those crosses is called our MIPA signal indicator. And it's a very valuable indicator, and I'll tell you why. If you look at the indicator settings, they're identical to the strategy settings. Identical. The only difference between the indicator, the signal indicator, and your strategy is when your strategy is enabled, it's going to execute a trade when all of the conditions are met. On your signal indicator, when all of your conditions are met, it's going to throw a cross on your chart. Okay? So it's really great for backtesting. If you pull in some losing trades and you have on the signal A, what you could do is you could see what conditions, you could check off the conditions that would have prevented that losing trade from happening. So on this signal A entry, what I like to do, and what I'll do is I'll take this copper, I'll close this copper trade. And I think this will be helpful, especially if you have this strategy. And what I'll do is I'll take that strategy that I have running in my copper account. And what I'll do, and this is what I really would recommend you do with the strategies that you're running, is take a picture, a screenshot of what conditions you have checked off in your strategy. And we're going to duplicate them in the indicator. So I'm going to bring up my little snippet tool. And I'm just going to take a screenshot of what my parameters are on that copper strategy, the strategy that's doing so well today. And I'm going to match my signal A indicator with the exact same conditions. And this way my crosses will come up on my chart exactly where my entries are. So if I go back to my indicators and I go to my signal A, what I would do is I would put the same exact conditions that I have here. I'm going to check off the 15 signal. Excuse me. My 50 signal, I'm going to put it on red-green. My 50 above, my 15, my MA diff signal. That's the distance that price can be from the 50. It's used to prevent the system trading in an overbought or oversold environment. So I have my MA diff at 50. Which means that they have to be pretty tight to the 50. And I have that based on my fast line and moving average colored. Then I have the clear pivots and the clear volume zones. And my signal B is not enabled, so I don't check this one. I can ignore it. And then my visuals, what it's going to do in my plots is put a lime green cross, and I have the width set at 5 for an up signal, and a down signal is going to have a cross, excuse me, a red cross. And my signal output, my font size, that's for my dashboard. If I enable my dashboard on these images, it won't work. But if you enable your dashboard, then you'll see in real time, dynamically, the conditions listed at the top left of your chart. Let me show you what I mean. So now that all my parameters match, I'm going to click OK. And now my signals should show on this chart. They should show. I think my image is in the way. But if you don't have an image, it's going to show the crosses on your chart. Let me just check. Let me see. Wow. Okay, it must not be. I think these indicators aren't visible. Oh, I set trend diff at 50. Let's take a look. Thank you. Yeah, that'll never get a signal. The only thing I can think of is I have these. Really don't know what I'm doing wrong right now, but and I apologize, but I will find out, and I'll show it again tomorrow. But those, if they're not painting, hit Charles's link. But you'll see my entries if I put my properties. Let's put my text on black. Then you can see my entries are going to be right where that 15. But it should be showing across on my chart. But that signal indicator is really a great tool to use to backtest, really, because then when you see the signals on your chart, you could scroll back and see which ones were successful, how many were successful, how many failed, and then you could start adding conditions onto that signal A indicator and start filtering out your losers. So I'm going to put a link in the chat that really goes into depth about what I'm discussing. If you're in our Discord chat, it's under the resources channel, modules 1 and 2. But I'm going to put a link in the chat box now. The signal B was the one that did well on the RTY. The signal B is our trend trading strategy. If you haven't watched Module 2, if you haven't watched Module 1, Module 2 won't make any sense to you. I'm going to put a link in the chat box here. Yeah, Radar, sorry about that. I tried. For some reason, mine weren't either, so we both need to get with Charles, I guess. Well, that's not exactly true, Rao. Oh, hey, Ben. Okay, I just put in the link here, and that tutorial will show you how to build your own ATM machine, your own automated strategy. All right, so I think that's about all for today. I hit my profit goal on Apex. I did it using the 30 range signal B, which is really one of our go-to strategies, has been. The NASDAQ 2-minute is, also a really great strategy. The ES had a beautiful trade today. The Russell, a very small gain, about $60. Gold about 130. So all in all, it was a good day, and we were able to keep moving the ball on that $50,000 account on 13. And tomorrow, God willing, we're going to try that one-day pass again, and we're going to try to push number 13 over again as well. While they have that 90% off sale, I'll put the coupon code in the chat box again. It's good till Thursday at midnight, the 23rd. Thursday the 23rd through midnight. I'm going to put in our coupon code. It helps support Right Line Trading. We're affiliates with Apex. I think I put it in there. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, my phone number, I'm going to end with my phone number. Give me a call here at the office. I'm going to take a quick lunch break for about 45 minutes. I'll be back at 12 noon Eastern. Okay, Ben. Thanks for joining us, Ben. It's always good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today, and have a blessed rest of your afternoon. We'll see you again, God willing, tomorrow. We'll give it another shot. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.